Yo, what is up guys? Joker bringing you another video, this time for Path of Exile 2's third league, the third edict, the rise of the Abyssal. And oh my god, I have never been hyped. This league looks like it is going to be amazing. I want to start this video out with a huge shout out to Jonathan and GGG because of the fact that this live stream showed me that they are willing to compromise on their vision for what the players actually want. They're not going to directly give us PoE 2.0. They do want it to be its own game that is separate and different, but they are willing to compromise in their vision that was driving away a lot of PoE players. And I'm extremely hyped. Like it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that PoE 2 has completely changed. Like if you played 0.1 or 0.2 and you got a bad vibe from it, kind of like I did at the beginning of 0.2, I was pretty much stating like, look, I don't think PoE 2 is going to be for me. It doesn't seem like the type of game that I'm going to enjoy, but after this live stream, they pretty much did add a lot of essentially PoE into PoE 2, in my opinion, making it more of an actual successor, which it's supposed to be, right? PoE 2 is supposed to be a successor to PoE 1. It's supposed to be a sequel. And previously it really didn't feel like that. It really didn't feel like PoE. But as long as they stay on this track, I actually have really high hopes for PoE. So with the glazing out of the way, let's go over some of the changes. First change is they got rid of the cruel axe and there is now Act 4, and we are going to get essentially what I'm going to call 3 sub acts. They call them something different, but essentially they're some acts. They're essentially mini story arcs that are going to take the place and fill the progression for acts 5 and 6 until they're introduced into the game. And I'm totally here for it because in my opinion, the story is actually one of the things that PoE 2 did really, really well. I'm not really much of a story person. I have over 8,000 hours in PoE and I still don't know what the fuck's going on, right? But I actually paid attention to and I was enjoying the story of PoE 2. So the fact that we're finally getting the continuation in Act 4 and we're going to have like 3 little mini sub stories, I'm going to call them like non-canon arcs, right? Because they're going to be removed as soon as Acts 5 and 6 come, but that's essentially what they are. They're like little non-canon side story arcs, which in my opinion is really cool because like I said, the story is one of the things that I thought that they did really well. So I'm happy to see more of that. Now, the next thing, oh, here it is. 3 new mini acts, right? The Curse of the Holton, the Stolen Barya, and Doriani's Contingency. Now, moving on to the league mechanic, Rise of the Abyss. They're essentially smashing together a bunch of other league mechanics and bringing it to PoE 2 as Abyss, right? A bunch of the PoE 1 mechanics. They're smashing them together and bringing it and calling it Abyss. And I am here for it. This Abyss looks like it is going to be insanely fun. So the way it was essentially stated is there's going to be the abyssal rifts in the map, and there's going to be these mobs emerging as you clear the maps, because essentially the abyssal creatures would eat the normal creatures in the map, and because you're killing them by clearing the map, the abyssal creatures are getting pissed off and they're coming to fight you, which in my opinion, cool bit of little lore right there. I probably should have paid a lot more attention to PoE's lore. I'm probably going to go binge a bunch of Cat Kitten Noodles videos, see what's actually going on with the lore. But how this works essentially, like I said, is you're going to be killing a bunch of mobs in map, so adding a bunch of additional pack size and density, because these additional abyssal creatures are going to rise out of the abyss, and it works depending on what you kill. if you kill a bunch of magic mobs, right? If your maps are super juiced and you kill a bunch of magic mobs, then a bunch of magic mobs are gonna come from the abyss. You kill a bunch of rares are gonna come out. You kill a boss is gonna come. So that's super cool. It's also going to engage with all of the other mechanics, right? With like essence and stuff, and have like additional creatures and rewards. Like the example they gave, like if you kill a rogue exile and it comes out near the abyss, like corrupted rogue exile essentially will come out and give you a more rewarding fight because they'll have like an abyssal item on it. So really, really cool there. This is where we get to the fact that I said we're slamming together the mechanics. They're adding veiled modifiers to PoE too, but it's not basic veiled modifiers, right? It's not like a veiled chaos or the veiled exalted now. It's like the old Aisling, right? Where essentially it would just add a veiled modifier. So what it's going to do is you're going to bring one of these currencies to this giant soul portal rift, right? The Well of Souls. You're going to be throwing your item in, and a cute little doggo is going to be coming back up and giving you the item back, and it's going to have a veiled affix on it, and you have the ability of rolling like just like the betrayal crafting, right? Just like veiled mods, you click it, opens up the window, and you get to choose one of these modifiers. And as you can see, these modifiers are actually decently strong. The chances that you're going to brick a veiled modifier seems to be relatively low because there is actually currency that they're bringing in as well that allows you to have a reroll chance, right? Let's say you don't like any of these modifiers. If you have the currency in your inventory, it's going to allow you to re-roll it and get a new set of 3 modifiers. So crafting is going to be significantly better this league, like 150% better at bare minimum. Random number I grabbed out of my ass, but at a bare minimum, crafting is actually going to be non-painful. As long as you have like a basic understanding of PoE crafting, you're going to be able to engage with the PoE2 crafting system to an extremely high extent. Like they also reworked a bunch of the currencies. They reworked essence. We're going to get to that in a minute. But yeah, super good. We love crafting options. I mean, that's why PoE has like 20, right? But as you can see, here's some examples. Preserved vertebrae desecrates a rare waystone. Preserved rib desecrates a rare armor. If I'm remembering correctly, this is what you're going to go ahead and this is the currency that allows you to throw it into the pit and get the veiled modifier on it. And then this is what this is what this is going to do, right? It's essentially going to add a additional modifier that relates to Abyss, right? So it's like league specific crafting currency, which is pretty cool. Because can you imagine if we had an orb in PoE where you could just slam on an additional harbinger or something? That'd be really dope in my opinion. They also went ahead and changed how the waystones work to make them like PoE 1, where the affixes are not just purely a negative. As you can see, they have quantity and rarity. Modifiers are now tied to quantity and rarity and other beneficial mods, right? Like pack size, stuff like that. So they made waystones significantly better with this as well, allowing them to, now it's more rewarding the more you juice it, right? It's no longer just towers and random RNG. It's now you're going to get pack size, quantity, and rarity on your maps in addition, so you don't have to worry about just shitty modifiers, right? And then attacks gain a 15% of damage as extra lightning while unarmed. These are essentially abyss modifiers is the way I'm going to phrase it. Items can roll with these modifiers and a lot of them seem really cool. The reason why this says 15% of damage as extra lightning while unarmed is because they fucking added one with nothing as a fucking keystone just on your atlas. Like they added a bunch of new notables that are insane. Like Trinity's one with nothing's one. Like they added a bunch of good notables onto the tree. So the build variety is actually going to be pretty intense. They also did go ahead and make it so like you are able to be unarmed. Like you're not just going to be constantly swarmed. Like they balanced it out so you can actually be unarmed. And I believe it works with pole arms. I believed that's what the unarmed count as, is you can use pole arms. So that's really dope there. It also adds new bosses and new items. So they added Darkness Enthroned. And these Darkness Enthroned seem like they're going to be relatively insane, because as you can see, 72% increase effect of socketed items, right? Just like PoE1, where it'd be the increased effect of the socketed jewels. But this has a niche cool effect. The item has a random modifier. This top modifier, items gain bonus from socketed items, as it was a body armor. They also showed an example of where it says like a helmet. So there's going to be multiple Darkness Enthroned. Obviously, the one that counts as the body armor is probably going to be the most beneficial, because socketables usually get the most benefit when you put them in your chest plate. But you can have niches for like armors, boots, gloves as well, where this will actually be incredibly powerful. Then we have Olomen's Gaze. And if I'm remembering correctly, this is a, oh, it says it right there, limited to one abyssal eye. So you're essentially able to socket this, and this is like an Uber jewel, right? It gives you just like an additional, like an extra strong benefit. Now, Olomen's Gaze, I do not believe that these are locked in modifiers. I believe these are random as well. I don't remember if that was ever stated, so don't hold me to that. But essentially, these are just super strong socketables. Then we have the Omen of Abyssal Echoes. This is the currency that I was mentioning, that you go ahead and you throw, you get the reroll chance, right? They added mobility in the form of sprint. Jonathan said that this is going to make you faster than any mobs. How this works is you dodge roll and then you hold down the space bar or whatever your dodge roll button is, and then you'll start sprinting. And he said you're going to be faster than every other mob, right? Like at least the majority of mobs. This does come with a downside where if you get hit while you're sprinting, you will get heavy stunned, much like I think you can get heavy stunned easily off the Roa as well. But what this does is gives us a lot of mobility. And in my opinion, this isn't much of a downside, because essentially what you do with movement abilities anyways is you push them till you get to a pack of mobs and then you use a skill. This feels like it's going to be kind of the same thing. You use it until you see another pack of mobs and then you use a skill to kill them, right? So not the best mobility, but it is a middle ground. They are trying to meet us closer to what we want with just movement abilities. They completely changed support gems. You're no longer stuck with one copy. You can now have multiple copies of a support gem, and they now have levels with scaling benefits. As you can see here, Ignite 1 has just 100% more chance to ignite, but Ignite 3 has a 15% faster damage. I'm sorry, I guess I had a stroke or something right there. Ignites from supported skills deal damage 15% faster, as well as it's a 200% more chance to ignite. And same thing over here, right? Where it just shows you gaining additional benefits. This is to help fill out the middle grounds. That way the supports actually feel like they're getting progressively stronger, right? You're not using like the tier 1 supports all the time, or just like all tier 3 supports from the uncut tier 3 gem. Now you're going to actually be wanting to use the tier 1, and then once you get to the level or the requirement for the tier 2, use the tier 2. Pretty much when you get the higher level uncut gem, right, you're going to want to swap, and you are going to get stronger, so it is going to help you progress better. Major balance and skill changes. I personally haven't read the patch notes. I'm probably going to make another video going over the patch notes, but they changed a lot. As you can see from the little video, a lot of cool stuff has been added. Like the firestorm is probably my favorite. They changed it so like you can pick up these little souls depending on the elemental damage you do, and then when you cast abilities, it's infused with that. So the firestorm is infused with lightning and fire as well. And like I mentioned, they added like a trinity onto the skill tree, so you're going to be able to kind of use trinity. There's going to be way more build variety this league, in my opinion. They also made weapon swaps instant, so there's no longer that kind of awkward janky delay between swapping between weapon sets, so it's going to make the play feel a lot smoother as well. Crafting got massive, huge updates. Oh my god, we're on 16 minutes and I wanted this video to be under 20. It's totally not going to be. That's just how much they changed. So the crafting updates, they changed essences to essentially kind of work like how they work in PoE 1, right? Where you can see they add a specific modifier. Lesser essence of flames, one-handed melee weapons or bows add flat fire, two-handed melee or crossbow added flat fire. I'm assuming this means that you can only use it on those types, or if you use it on gear, it adds fire res. I'm not sure, especially with this being the examples that they show. But as you can see, they added an additional tier of essence as well. And it just adds a stronger version of that modifier. So these two are essentially just like regals, right? They're regals for a specific modifier, which is good for crafting. This one seems like it's a add remove from harvest, but with a deterministic modifier, right? You remove a modifier and then you augment this modifier on, where gain 15% of damage as extra fire, or gain 25 to 33% as extra fire. That's pretty strong, right? Then we have more omens being added. We have the Omen of the Ancients. While this item is active in your inventory, your next Orb of Chance will upgrade the item to a random unique of the same item class. So essentially, Trash to Treasure, the Prophecy, or what's the Omen called in PoE now? A lot of you probably don't even know about prophecies, because they've been gone for a while. But this essentially turns a normal item into a unique. So think like a stellar amulet going into, no, was it stellar? I don't remember if it's stellar or not. But stellar going into Astromantis, or whatever the base they use for Astromantis, going into Astromantis is a good example. Then we have the Omen of Sanctification. While this item is active in your inventory, your next divine orb used on a rare item will sanctify it. And what Sanctify does is it overrolls modifiers, right? It makes them higher than they can normally roll. But a sanctified item cannot be crafted on further, if I remember correctly. So essentially, this would be like the finishing touch. This seems like a less risky Vol Orb, right? Because I believe if I'm remembering correctly, it can also add a socket as well as increase. So it's just like a less risky Vol Orb, if I'm remembering correctly. And then we have the Omen of Chaotic Monsters. While this item is active in your inventory, your next Chaos Orb will replace all modifiers on a Waystone with modifiers that grant pack size. So interesting modifier, interesting Omen, right? Just a pack size reroll. Don't know if we're getting ones. We're probably not getting ones for quantity and rarity as well, but that is still neat. Like if you completely brick a waystone with modifiers you can't run, now at the very least you have the chance of re-rolling it to a map that you can run that has a chance of being equally as juicy because it's going to re-roll all of the bad modifiers and just give you a bunch of other modifiers. Then we have Hinakora's locks, which are fucking insane to be in a PoE 2. Allows an item to foresee the result of the next currency item used on it. Modifying the item in any way removes the ability to foresee. So if you know how Hinakora's locks work in PoE, they seem to work exactly the same way in PoE 2. This is going to help us a lot. Then we have more crafting updates. We have tiered currency as well. So we're going to have the greater and the perfect orbs of transmute, chaos, and exalted. And these are just going to be stronger versions of their baby forms. As you can see, minimum modifier level added 55. So this means that you're going to roll a T. They reverted the tiers, right? So they match. So T1's highest in PoE 2 now still. So this would have you giving a higher chance of getting like that upper T3 plus modifiers, right? T3, T2, T1. It's going to make it significantly easier to craft items. Same thing with the perfect chaos. And actually, this is just greater. Why is greater so strong? Is there not a perfect transmute? There may not be a perfect transmute. There has to be a perfect transmute. I don't know. There might not be a perfect transmute, but perfect chaos, as you can see, minimum modifier level 50. This in conjunction with omens is going to be incredibly strong because you no longer have to worry about getting shitty low tier modifiers, right? And then same thing with the perfect exalted orb, augments a modifier of at least level 50. So once again, this isn't going to be like a T8 or a T11 modifier. I hope I'm saying that right. I hope they did change it. I want to say I heard something that they did change it. But yeah, this is going to be adding like a T3, T4 plus modifier. Well, not that high probably, but you have a higher chance for those modifiers while adding a base of like a T4 modifier. Really, really good crafting options. They made crafting significantly better. Oh, Marcroani? Yeah. Oh wait, no, it has a different name. So they added a bunch of items: Thunder Fist, 1 to 108 lightning damage to unarmed melee hit. That's actually quite a lot. And it gives you melee crit and crackling palm. That actually seems decently good. Because crackling palm, from what I remember in the showcase, is actually a pretty decent skill. And then heavy stuns enemies that are on full light. Okay. That's a lot of damage, especially because you can wield this in one hand. That's a lot of damage. Holy shit. And then Totemic Great Club as a base, right? They added a bunch of bases as well. New endgame maps. Honestly, in my opinion, this is the weakest part, but I can't blame them. They can't change literally everything at once, especially in 3 to 4 months, right? So endgame, they added new in-game maps. They added like environmental encounters where essentially you clear the surrounding maps and then it unlocks the map, and then you get the lineage support gems, which are essentially awakened support gems, right? New reward. Oh, it's literally going over it right here. These are, in my opinion, just like awakened support gems because they're just significantly stronger than all of the other support gems that they showcased. I mean, look, Spell Echo. I'm pretty sure Spell Echo did not exist previously in the game. So now we have Spell Echo. Hits with supported skills treat enemies' elemental resistances as inverted. You know how incredibly strong the 15% inversion on the PoE skill tree was as like the keystone or the notable? I forgot what they're called in PoE 1, but the little like, I think it's Is it a keystone or is it a notable? I don't know. I think it might be a notable. My brain is not working. Okay, I'm sick. So this just inverts them. It doesn't fucking say you have a chance. It just inverts it. And they nerfed that node because it was too strong. So this is just going to be incredibly overpowered, probably incredibly fucking expensive to be real too. And then Ratha's Assault, supported crossbow ammunition skills cannot reload. Supported skills load 3 bolts when you dodge, and they load an additional 3 bolts. So essentially how this has you playing is shoot, 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 dodge, shoot, 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 dodge, which I mean is pretty sure how you played anyways. And then probably the biggest, best change 25 minutes into the video, so nobody is going to... Did tabula rasa exist in PoE 2? Okay, we're not gonna ask that question right now. When did it? I don't remember tabby existing in PoE 2. Okay, not the point. Auction house, right? We are now getting an asynchronous trade system. So essentially how this is going to work, there's going to be an NPC that manages the currency exchange and this trade house. What you're going to do is you're going to put your items into this trade house and you're going to price them. They're going to go up onto the trade site. People are going to be able to go to click that trade button. They'll teleport to your hideout. They'll go to this NPC and they'll be able to buy your items. This is huge, and I'm kind of happy it's coming to PoE 2 before PoE 1. That way they can test it and like work out a bunch of the kinks before they bring it over to PoE 1, because something like this would impact the PoE 1 economy drastically, right? Like this would definitely have a huge impact on the economy. So really, really cool that they're testing it out here first to make sure that they can work out all the kinks before they bring it over to the main game that I play. But yeah, you're going to click the button on the trade site. You're going to go to the hideout. You're going to go to this NPC and you're going to buy. And the best part, this can happen while you're offline. So you can farm all day, set up a bunch of trades before you go to bed, and just wake up to a bunch of currency. And in my opinion, that is probably the best way that they could have done it, right? Because we're going to be able to use the trade site, and the trade site has a huge amount of functionality where we're able to look for very specific items anyways. So this is going to allow us to find very specific items and just buy them. In my opinion, this is probably the best way that they could have done it. But 25 minutes, nope, 28 minutes into the video now. Hopefully you stayed. If not, I do not blame you. I'm going to go read the patch notes, might make another video, might not. Last Epoch has its league start tomorrow, and I have a bunch of homework to get done before the Sunday, so because school just started for me a couple days ago. So I am going to be incredibly sleep deprived the next couple of days, even though I feel like shit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. If you did stay to the end, can you do me a favor? Can you like and comment on the video? YouTube's being stupid. They changed how they count views, so views no longer count. If you watch a video, you have to interact with it by liking or subscribing, commenting, something like that. Super appreciated. Ending the video before 30 minutes. Until next time, take care.